Yo, what up, everybody? My name is Drake Demore from the Win City Sports Podcast, and this episode of Cedric Ben's Combat Quarter is brought to you by the Win City Sports Podcast. Check us out on Spotify, iTunes, and anywhere podcasts are found, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or directly on wincitysports.com. Smell you later.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Cedric's Combat Corner. This week on the Triple C's podcast, we got four main topics. I'm going to start off first with post-fight analysis from Lomachenko versus Campbell that happened last Saturday. The second topic will be what I learned from this match and something that I think all boxers can apply to their training and to their next matches. The third topic will be a brief opinion with facts to back it up on just things that I think each fighter can improve on. And the fourth topic will be the training focus of the week. This week's training focus will be footwork, agility, and coordination. Some specific drills to work on that. All right, let's get right into it. Vasily Lomachenko from the Ukraine versus Luke Campbell from the UK. This was a match of two very highly skilled boxers. At the amateur level, both these guys reached the pinnacle that you can get, both winning gold medals at the Olympics. Vasily Lomachenko won 2 gold medals, actually, and Luke Campbell won 1 gold medal. So they were both at the highest level that you could reach as amateurs. And I can't remember the last time, I'm sure it's happened at some point in history, but the last time 2 former Olympic gold medalists actually faced each other for a championship match at the pro level. So some history was being made last Saturday. So the results, I scored the fight 118 to 109 for Lomachenko, but the fight was, I thought it was still closer than what my scorecard reads. It wasn't exactly a blowout. I believe Lomachenko basically gave us an education lesson on how to box a taller, longer person. Luke Campbell did very good using his jab, making Lomachenko really have to think on how he was going to get closer to him. I think if Luke Campbell threw a lot more straight lefts, because Luke Campbell is a southpaw, so if he threw a lot more hard straight lefts, he would have been able to keep Lomachenko away for a little bit longer at least. Because the first round, Lomachenko, he didn't struggle. Some people were trying to say that he struggled. I don't think he struggled. He just took a minute to figure him out, to explore the scene, to see what was going on. Because as I said before, Luke Campbell, he wasn't just a regular tall person with a long reach. He's a former Olympic gold medalist, so his jab that he was using was a very educated jab. I've used that term a few times before. What I mean by educated jab is that he wasn't just throwing it out there just to throw it. It was properly placed, at the right time, with the right tempo and everything. So very good educated jab. But that's all that Lomachenko had to worry about at the beginning. Campbell was throwing some good shots, some good straight lefts, but it just wasn't enough. It was enough to keep the rounds close, but not enough for me to give him the round, or any round after the third round, really. Some of them were close, but just Lomachenko just stepped it up. Each round he stepped it up a little bit more. Ended up dropping Campbell. I believe it was the 7th round. Just with overwhelming him with punches. It wasn't even just one specific punch, just the overwhelming. It's the punch that you don't see coming is the ones that hurts you. So just in general with Lomachenko, he doesn't have one punch power, but just the overwhelming footwork and speed and hitting you when you're not expecting it is when he really gets to drop guys. So Lomachenko just cruised his way. Sorry, I shouldn't say he didn't cruise his way, but went on to a unanimous decision win. Now for topic number 2, what I learned and what I think all boxers can learn, just a different approach to counterpunching. Specifically, moving towards the outside of the front foot of your opponent. This will do 2 things for you. As you move towards the outside of that front foot, as your opponent is trying to turn towards you to try to square up to you, they will slowly be moving towards you, because naturally, a boxer's natural movement is to move in the direction of that front foot. If you just think about it, if you've ever shadow boxed before or hit the bag or done pads with a coach, when you're hitting, usually after you're done, whatever you're done your combination, whether it's one punch or a combination, 90% of the time people move to that side of that front foot. So when you do that in a match, when you're turning towards that front foot, you're slowly drawing your opponent towards you without them realizing it. If you can disguise it, not just blatantly running to one side only, you can switch it up and go both ways, but just more go to that other side. That's the first thing, is slowly drawing them towards you, and that will get you a little bit closer to the person to counterpunch if you're a shorter person facing a taller person with a longer reach. The second thing that it will do by moving outside of that front foot is that when your opponent is moving forward, not just your opponent, just anyone in general, any boxer in general, when you're moving forward, you're going to have more weight on your front leg. So your goal is to time it so that when you punch, so to time your punch as your opponent is putting their weight onto their front leg because they're coming forward. Hopefully you got that. I tried to explain with as much detail as possible. So those two things there. Different approach to, not a different approach, just a new way. Maybe you knew that already. If not, try to incorporate that. So moving towards the outside of that front foot, that will draw your opponent, bringing them closer towards you. And also, as they're coming towards you, they're putting more weight onto that front leg. So time it. So when they put that weight onto that front leg, stepping forward, you can spring forward with a quick combination, whether it's one punch or a quick combination. And of course, use your good footwork to get out of the way after that. All right. For topic number 3 now. My assessment on what I believe each fighter can work on to help them in their next match. And this is not just my random opinion. This is my educated opinion with reasoning and actual facts to back it up. Starting with Lomachenko first. Well, basically, this guy basically has, the closest thing to a perfect boxer you could find, man. This guy doesn't really have any weaknesses. The one thing that I think could slightly help him, or not help him, but he's already on a different level from everyone else. But if he can just develop one punch knockout power, and it's not even like he needs it, because he's just overwhelms guys just with his general skill level. It's not even just one good thing that he does, but just his general skill level. The only thing that people could talk negatively about is that there's certain opponents that he's had that other fighters have stopped earlier in matches, and Loma has gone the distance with him, like Jose Pedraza a couple of matches ago. Gervonta Davis stopped him in the third round, and Lomachenko I believe went the distance, or went close to the distance with him. Same thing with this guy, Luke Campbell. Jorge Linares, who fights mostly out of Japan, very good fighter, but not too many people hear about him. He beat Campbell actually better than not better, but he hurt Campbell earlier in their match. It got closer to the end, but still, so that's the only knock on him, is that he doesn't finish guys off faster than other opponents have finished them off. When people look at Lomachenko as one of the pound-for-pound great ones. So that's not something that he needs to, not a weakness that he needs to work on. Because some of the all-time greats didn't exactly have one-punch knockout power. You look at Floyd late in his career, Muhammad Ali, Pernell Whitaker. These guys didn't exactly have one-punch knockout power, but they were still great fighters. So that's not no knock on him. Just something that, if he feels like stepping it up to another level, he can do. Luke Campbell, he needs... What I believe he could improve on is his cardio, specifically with throwing those long punches. I'm not just talking about cardio with running. Because he didn't look like he was tired. It's not like he was running, like walking back to his corner with his mouth wide open. So he didn't look like he was physically tired. But some boxers, sometimes they won't throw as much punches because they think they'll get tired, because they're not used to that volume. Because again, Lomachenko, his and other opponents, people that have sparred him, that have said this too. It's not the power. He just overwhelms you with everything, with the general skill level, the footwork, the stepping to the side, the speed, the angles. And so if when you throw a couple punches and you miss, when you miss throwing punches, that even makes you more tired. So I think when Lomachenko makes people miss, it causes them to hesitate. And if you hesitate, then you're not throwing. And if you're not throwing, then he's just going to put it on you even more. So Luke Campbell, if he can just improve that cardio, little drills that I make my boxers do, like you could do intervals, 3-minute rounds, 15-second intervals, smash the bag for as hard as you can for 15 and then go light for 15, not just stop, but go light. What you can do in that specific case is only throw jabs for those 15 seconds and then, regular light punches for the other 15 and then hard jabs for the next 15. Another drill he can do to improve cardio punching is what I call marathon punching. What we do in the bag, for the little kids do 2 minutes, the seniors do 3 minutes, and it's just punching, mixing it up for 3 minutes straight. Now, obviously, you're not sprinting. It's not like a sprint. It's more like a marathon. That's why I call it marathon punching, because you got to go at a pace that you can handle for the 3 minutes. That way, psychologically, when you get enough fights in a match, obviously it's different when the fire's coming back at you. But inside your head, you should have the confidence to know that you can keep the pace up of throwing those punches for the full 3 minutes. Yeah. And now for topic number 4, the BTF boxing training focus of the week. Two things that Vasily Lomachenko is amazing at. Footwork, agility, and coordination. I made a few videos on my YouTube page. You're going to have to scroll down. Go to Cedric Sports Training on YouTube. Scroll down to near the bottom to the video that says how to improve lateral movement using ladders. So I got a few of my former boxers, national champion boxers, just demonstrating how to, just a ladder drill, basically staying in your boxing stance and moving laterally, making sure that you're not crossing your feet and keeping that balance. And the main focus when you're doing these ladder drills is not to stop every 2 seconds and throw a combination. It's to make sure you got the footwork down packed properly and then move on from there. Second video is called How to Improve Agility and Coordination Using Skipping. I tell people all the time, skipping is great for a warm-up, but it's not just used for a warm-up. You can use it to improve your agility and coordination. So this is a little bit more advanced drill. Just skipping laterally side to side on 1 foot. And it's better demonstrated if you just watch the video than me talking about it. So check that out. Check those 2 videos out on my YouTube page, Cedric Sports Training. Scroll down to close to the end and look for those 2 videos. How to improve lateral movement using ladders and how to improve agility and coordination using skipping. Yeah, Cedric Sports Training on YouTube and Cedric Sports on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, I'll catch you guys next week.